So we are here in Antalya attending the Global Sustainability Conference, Tourism Conference, with Mr. Lindsay Morvan, Director of Mauritius Tourism Authority.
Yeah, exactly.
How is tourism going in Mauritius?
I must say that we're actually in the process of recovery, and it seems to go well. But we know that after the COVID, there's been a sort of different mindset among the travelers to look for sustainable destination or places to visit where people are environmental conscious a bit more than before.
It used to be before, yes?
It used to be before. In fact, in Mauritius, before the COVID, we are a population of 1.3 million people, and before COVID, we reached around 1.4 million tourists. Yet we almost reach this level after the COVID now.
Great.
for the coming year, ending year of 2022-23. But we are still putting emphasis on more sustainable activities. For instance, we are among these SIDS, that is small island developing countries, states which are threatened by the climate change.
Sure, yeah.
We are among the most threatened because we have around 5.6 millimeter of sea rise level compared to many others generally, which is around 2.5.
That's a very serious issue, yes.
So we are trying to invite more and more tourists, for instance, to inland activities, inland tourism. Our Minister of Tourism is working on a 10-year plan, 10-year planning of the tourism sector with focus on how we reduce the impact on our coastal zone and also reducing number of hotels, not reduce, but reduce the new hotels on the coastal zone.
So that was your topic actually yesterday in the panel.
Yes.
Coastal management.
Coastal management. Actually, we at the level of the Tourism Authority, we have initiated a project with the European Union since 2018, which is called the Sustainable Island Mauritius project, which has the main objective to empower, to accompany the tourist operators in greening their activities. We initially worked with the tour operators because they are at the center of all the activities of the visitors, at least from the airport to their departure. But still, we have worked with pleasure craft, for instance, because many tourists enjoy going on craft, visiting the islets and all this. But we have worked with NGOs, particularly involved in the protection of biodiversity, and we have trained many of these pleasure operators to care about, during their activities, to take care about the biodiversity where they operate. And we also accompanied the artisans because we have worked with an organization called Made in Maurice, which is an organization which is, since the past 10 years, has been encouraging the Mauritian community to buy local.
Yes.
So we have worked with these artisans, of these members of the Made in Maurice, and this has been, in fact, many of these artisans, they were complaining that they could not reach the tourists, and they could not have good marketing strategies and all this, you know. So what we did, we encouraged, we made tour operators and hoteliers meet these artisans to be able to upgrade the quality of their products so that it responds to what the tourists want, you know.
Excellent.
And I feel that this has worked well also. And in fact, during these past 4 years, we have worked much on encouraging all the operators, but also the population. Because, for instance, when we had the closing of the frontiers, just before the opening, we initiated together with other private sector and public sector together. We initiated cleaning up of the country to prepare for the opening, but we involved also village councils and all these to be able to accommodate these people when coming, because there was a threat. Many people were feared that when tourists will come, the COVID-19 will expand, you know. So we need to reassure them. So we put them involved in all the processes of reopening. And I must confess that we have had, until now, we are much satisfied that we have had a good opening, but we still need to work very much hard on environment. You know, people still sometimes litter. This is a common
give us some examples of your sustainable initiatives that you are taking in Mauritius.
Yes, for instance, I just mentioned we have trained these.
Yes.
We have trained the pleasure craft operators. We have trained the artisans. We have worked with the accommodations to move towards green energy
practices and energy,
you know, and all these. And what we did last year, we organized the first Sustainable Mauritius Awards, which was set to evaluate, to honor those who have made the most effort to go towards the greening. And we are on the 1st of June this year, we're organizing the second edition of this.
So the response of the industry is good, yeah?
Very good, very good. Last year we had around 115 participants, but this year we have a bit less because firstly, we are not having for artisans, and secondly, everybody is very busy with the arrivals of their tourists, you know. But there is a lot of enthusiasm. All the big players are participating, and we have also been able to secure from Air Mauritius, for instance, that those who win these awards be able to travel with the MTPA, Mauritius Tourism Promotion Authority, which is also sponsoring the event, so that they can promote their products in fairs, in international fairs and all these, you know.
There is a lot of discussion nowadays, not for Mauritius, but in general, about over-tourism, or some other people, they don't like this expression, they prefer to say tourism flow management. Do you think that there is an issue?
In fact, that's why I'm telling that first, it has a big impact on our coastal zone.
Yes. Because of this.
Actually. But we actually are in the process. That was a bit our strategy, is to put more emphasis on tourist spending. For instance, we are not totally to the same level that we were in 2019. We're almost at the same level, but the tourist spending is very much higher.
Higher, yes.
And the stay also. For instance, during the period pre-COVID, the average stay was around 10 to 11 nights. Now it's around 12 to 13 nights. So this also contributes to put emphasis on the spending of these tourists. And also we have initiated a program that we call the long stay. That is, if you come for 1 year, for instance, you are interested to stay in for 1 year.
Digital nomads,
digital nomads, or even those who have taken have stopped working, you know. And this seems to be working well, and this will reduce the impact of traveling. You know, we are a long haul destination, so we want to reduce I can't say we want to reduce, but we want to have a control on our impact on carbon.
Do you speak in the government and in the tourism authority about carrying capacity of the destination, let's say? This is something that usually I do not listen in any destination presentations or press conferences. Only once I heard about it, but not from Mauritius yet.
In fact, you know, we have our national aircraft, Air Mauritius,
Yes.
which is one of the most important company of our island. But still, there is a lot of discussion between the government and the private sector. And since the COVID, there has been an establishment of good relation between private sector and the government and public on all these issues, including the capacity.
Yeah.
Both the capacity of flying tourists and the capacity of handling people around the island. That's why I mentioned that we are working very, very closely on how to encourage the tourists to move towards inside activities, but also inside accommodations. So, this is one of the issue which is very delicate issue, you know.
It is a very delicate issue, yes. That's why usually governments do not speak about. I mean, but there are some destinations that they take initiatives in order to control the numbers of tourists that they receive due to the environmental impact or socio-economical impact or whatever. That's why I ask you if you see that there is a reason probably that you should start thinking about, you know, taking this kind of decisions, hard decisions, let's say.
You know, Mauritius, we are a country where the climate is almost the same from January to December. You know.
Yes.
We officially we have two. We have the summer and the winter.
Yes.
But even the summer, it seems to be mostly the cyclonic periods, but yet this is the period of the peak period, that is from October to April.
Yeah.
This is the period where we have, which is supposed to be the summer, but also the cyclonic period.
Okay.
But even though the government has been working on we do no more call it the low season,
yes,
but we call it the other season. In fact, we are trying to extend the arrival of tourists at least at a different level of the period of the year.
Great. So what are your plans for the near future? What do you see for the near future for tourism in Mauritius?
In fact, we are targeting to make Mauritius a green destination in 2030. This is one of the objectives. That's why we are working with GSTC, and we are even after the project of the European Union, which has finished in December last year, we are initiating now a sustainable tourism unit at the level of the Tourism Authority.
Okay.
Because Tourism Authority is the regulator, and we have another one, which is the Mauritius Tourism Promotion Authority. We do the promotion, but yet as a regulator, we do not only issue licenses, but we do also encourage. We have the obligation to encourage for a good management of the tourism places. You know, so we are that's why our minister has initiated a 10-year plan. In fact, this is done with the support of the World Bank, actually, to ensure that any strategy that could at the same time bring more money, more spending of tourists, and mitigating at the same time the impact of these arrivals on our island. You know. And we have also a small island, Rodrigues, which is just beside. And this island also is actually, we are in the process of getting it as a green destination. And we are already planning that all these different steps of getting these different places, but we're also another place which is called Melon, where we are targeting it as a destination, a green destination, and all this may bring us to a green destination, not only to be a certified green destination, because we mean business. We want. That's why we have started the Sustainable Tourism Island Mauritius project, because we want really to ensure that the tourism sector, the tourism industry, does not is not only at the advantage of tourist operators. It should be also to the advantage of the population.
True.
So we need to involve the population in our initiatives. We need to sensitize them in the respect of the environment, in the respect of tourists coming. I do not look at them as a threat to our day-to-day living, you know. So I believe that we are in this process has already started, and we believe that during these 10 years working plan that the minister has initiated now, and during also all our actions towards greening Mauritius until 2030, we will reach a sort of balance between the handprint and the footprint. In fact, we have initiated the Mauritius Pro and Print Innovation Framework, which is a framework with 11 GSTC criteria that we are actually sharing with the operators. And what we have done is we are actually putting it in a sort of digital application, so that it can be worked as a toolkit to evaluate the impact, how much energy they are using, how much water, for instance. Water is a big problem for a small island like Mauritius, because when we see more and more tourists, we have to supply water, we have to supply electricity. So there is a high consciousness among the government itself, because actually the Ministry of Environment is actually is also starting a national award on environmental award in all sectors, not only on tourism, but in all sectors, to encourage people to work towards this protection of the environment in general, you know, and our resources also.
Excellent. I wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
I wish you to achieve all your goals until 2030 and even further.
Hope to.